So you guys, as I promised, here we go. So remember the video with Puppy and Zena, and Puppy kept on saying that they were R-worded by deception. So I found this video where Noehflake is the person that Puppy accused them of this such crime. So in this interview, Noehflake is going to expand and tell the story of actually what had happened between her and Poppy. And also remember, Noehflake originally changed her mind and did not want to meet up with these people. But they beat her down to the point with lack of sleep because they were bombarding her with messages and making sure that she would meet up with them. So she relented, she met up with them. So she's going to be telling this story to Victor Burns. So anyways, here we go.
Hi, I'm Noehflake. I'm an author, I guess, sort of aspiring author.
Mm-hmm.
I dated Poppy and dealt with Xena.
Dated Poppy and dealt with Xena. Okay.
Yeah.
And it is so true. She did dated Poppy and dealt with Zena. Oh my God, that is so funny. That is so funny. And I know this is going to be kind of like a slow start of an interview. I'm going to try to cut out as much as I can to get to the meat and potatoes. But some stuff I'm going to have to leave it in because it's building up to what we're trying to get at here.
Cool. So when did you how did you meet Poppy and Xena? How did that come about?
Um, I ended up meeting Poppy because she was talking, like, she made a thread at one point about talking about bottom surgery stuff, and it's been something that I've wanted for a long time. So I was like, hey, just asking a couple questions,
Okay.
and that's kind of like where I met her. And then of course she did what she normally does apparently, and she moved to DMs and pushed it to be very flirty and sexual, which, I didn't fucking know who the hell she was.
Okay. So you didn't initiate any flirtatious conversation or sexual conversation with her. She was the one who
No,
initiated.
I mean that's her general MO is to
Mhm.
like try and any fucking trans women just try and get them in the DMs and be flirty with them.
Okay, so for those who do not know, the person on the right, that's Noehflake. She's also Pali, and she is a fairy. Yeah, she's a fairy, as you can tell by the picture. I mean, they're not a bad looking person, so I just wanted to put it out there because you've seen my thumbnails with Puppy and Xena. But yeah, this is Noehflake. Anyways, let's continue.
And you guys were talking. You two were talking for what? A couple months. When did
It was like a month or two maybe in like
when
DMs.
when did the conversation shift to visiting, like actually doing a real life meet?
uh a real life me, I think, was like a couple months in to actually like dating,
Okay.
because she kind of packaged it along with like a, hey, come along and I'll get you a consultation, like sign up for a consultation, and since it's here local, like you could just come and visit for a week and then I'll take you down to it and stuff like that.
Was it? I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Was it was it just like a casual mention of that, or did it seem like it was like ultra like? At what point did it start to get like ultra pushy?
I mean,
Did you
it was
start
like
to
a
feel like you were
casual
being pressured?
suggestion, and I was just like, well, I don't have the money for that. And then she's like, okay, well, like, I'll pay for it, and then you can just like fly over here and you can visit, and we can do the consultation then and whatever. And it's like, okay.
Huh. This tidbit is actually interesting. I did not know. Or maybe I heard it, it just went over my head. So she offered to pay for it to fly and stay with them. And also, you guys remember, these people, they have never met each other in real person. This is over Discord. This is all over Discord, inviting a person you've never met. Only talked to them for a couple months. That's scary. That is scary. But yikes.
It seemed a little weird, but like, I guess.
Okay. So by consultation, what do you mean by consultation?
Oh, like a consultation is like a first appointment, like you go there, you do the paperwork and whatever, and then you kind of just leave. Like I already went through the consultation. It was literally like I drove 7.5 hours to get to Detroit just for them to like literally shake my hand and was like, "Here's some papers. All right, bye." And it was like 10 minutes. I'm not even kidding.
What was this? What was this for exactly?
Bottom surgery.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I'm a
Yeah.
little.
Like the first appointment, they basically for legal reasons can't do it over the phone because they need to ask a lot of like personal and private information, so you have to do it in person.
Okay, I see. All right.
Yeah.
So your thing was you were going to go up there to do or to begin the process.
Yeah.
And while there, you were going to meet up with Poppy and I don't know if Xena was in the picture at this time, but you were at the very least
I
going to
mean,
meet up with.
technically Xena's in the picture, but it was a case of like Poppy wanted me to spend a week with them, and like the beginning of that week was going to be me doing my consultation and whatever, and then like hanging out with them for a week.
Okay, I see what's going on. So Poppy was trying to make sure that she had Noehflake in the bag. Was a better way of like, hey, come and stay with us for a week. Isn't this whole party thing weird? And also remember that Poppy and Xena live together. So you're gonna bring in this. I don't understand this whole polyamorous thing, you guys. I really don't understand this whole polyamorous thing. So your other partner is gonna be there when you're trying to smack on the new partner. What? Oh hell no.
That was the whole plan of everything going on.
Oh, okay, okay. And what ended up happening with that? Like that just didn't like happen.
Oh, I mean, it got set up like because my consultation was set up in January, like around my birthday,
Uh huh.
and so like the relationship just didn't last that long.
Oh, okay.
Like I ended up breaking up with him like before that could even happen. So like I still had the consultation appointment and I still went.
Hmm.
But I was broken up with Poppy by the time that happened.
Yes, I do believe that Noehflake was with Poppy before meeting. They never met each other. Was with Poppy for 3.5 months max. With this level of insanity, you would think these people were together for eons, but no, it was only for 3.5 months.
Poppy claims to have DID, correct?
She claims to have OSDD, which is like DID, but it's kind of like the when you don't fall into like I think there's 4 or 5 different kinds of DID, and then there's just like the other category where it's like you just don't fall into any of the specific things of like the main ones, and then this is just the other.
Okay.
And Poppy being a trained therapist, honestly, you guys, she knows to pick stuff that is not going to be, you're not going to be able to prove. Like stuff that's not going to be able to prove with medication that you have medication for. Like BPD, DID, oh my gosh, she collected so many disorders. I cannot keep up with them. But her being a trained therapist, she knows exactly what she's doing by picking out stuff that she knows nobody can prove whether she has it or not.
Um. So from what I was seeing, it was like when she would talk to you on Discord, she would
Hmm.
use like emojis to like she would
Yeah,
put an emoji
it's a
to
pretty
tell you
common thing to
which one of
do.
the
Yeah,
altars are.
yeah, it's the way to keep track of her different alters and everything like that. She does it a little differently than I do, but yeah.
Yeah, which is a very manipulative tactic because normally people with DID, they only have one altar, which is like to help them disassociate. The brain shuts down to protect them from some sort of drama. But no. Poppy has had 3 of them. So you know she's special. She needs to have 3 altars. You can't just have one like most people do.
Okay. Is there when you like talk to her on Discord, would she be like one altar in one line and then like switch to another altar on the next line or the next couple of lines? Did it seem like she was quick switching between altars at all?
She quick switches between them. But it's whenever she uses like another emoji.
Uh
Like
huh.
she does the way that she tends to like it's written out is when she'll use an emoji for like the switch, and then every line after that until there's another emoji is that alter.
Yeah, because I saw some of the screenshots. It looked like she would go one line and then
Yeah.
another altar literally on the next line.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you saw my stream. I was talking to someone who is a little more familiar with DID. Again, I don't know anything about
I mean, I
DID or
also
any of the
have
other stuff.
OSDD. Like I
Yeah.
don't think it's straight up DID, but like I do have like at least OSDD, and I know my system works a little differently than some that I've met, but
Yeah, we,
like
we
I've met a lot of different systems, and hers is like hers is bizarre.
No, hers, she created all these three altars for purpose, with purpose, because if she herself says something and upsets the other person, like in the case of Noehflake, and Noehflake is like, yeah, this is creeping me out, I don't want to meet up with you anymore, then she presents another altar. And if Noehflake is still upset, then she can blame the other altar, and she comes back and say, oh, I am so sorry, that was my other altar, I don't know what happened. And if that doesn't work, what happens? Let's go create another altar. So on and so on and so on, to beat over the other person over the head, to pretty much exhaust them until she gets what she wants from the other person. It's sick.
I'm not gonna speak for you or anybody else, but again, I don't know too much, but I'm sort of in disbelief that she actually has anything because of that. Like, I'm very suspicious.
Trust me, I'm suspicious too. Obviously, like I don't know.
The switching like that,
I don't know
I
her
don't.
story like that, and I
Hi,
do
Amber.
know systems that will seamlessly switch around, but the way that she presents it and stuff is very strange.
Yeah, like it
Like
seemed like
I'll leave it at that. At least in my
yeah,
opinion.
it
Like I
seemed like
can't say whether she
TikTok
does or not,
DID
but
to
it's
me.
very strange.
It seemed a lot like TikTok style DID to me. Is the closest I can compare that to. Like,
It's funny that he said that because it's like TikTok with the BPD and Empire BPD is like, bitch, shut up, shut up. Yeah, I hate those people.
people who have gotten caught, like, I don't want to say faking it because again, I don't know everything about DID and I don't want to like put my foot in my mouth,
Yeah.
but it is very very suspicious to me.
She claims to have an official diagnosis, but I mean, she claims to be an expert in a lot of things that she doesn't know the first thing about. So
Right.
you know, I don't know what she has or what she doesn't have for
Mm.
real.
Right. So what was the she keeps going on about this one big rule.
Uh-huh.
What was the specific rule when it comes to that she had when it comes to polyamorous relationships and things about metamors, I guess.
Oh God.
Like, can you tell me specifically what her rule was?
And again, it's a refresher, it's a reminder. Metamors are your partner's partners. That's what a metamor is.
So what she told me, at, not really at the beginning, but like she kind of ended up telling me at one point that like some of Xena's old partners abused her in some way or like physically abused her, and I like no one knows what this story is about because like there's never more information than that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like according to her, like some of Xena's old partners or like an ex-partner abused Poppy, and therefore Poppy doesn't like to deal with or hear about any metamors whatsoever for the entire relationship.
Now,
Um,
From what I've learned about Papi and Zena, God, I learned a little bit more than I wanted to, but I had to because I'm fascinated. Papi was jealous of, or is jealous of her partners, which is the main reason why she doesn't want to know about metamors, her partners.
it seemed
she
like she was
also
phrasing
like
that as sexual,
doesn't
though.
seem to care about telling you about her metamors,
Hmm.
like her other partners. Like she will freely tell you about like all of her different partners and stuff. To a point, she hides a lot of her relationships from people.
Okay.
I actually went most of my relationship without knowing that she had another girlfriend.
Hmm.
Um, so that was a thing. But like she doesn't want to hear about any partners whatsoever. You are hers and hers alone in her mind.
Right. I saw a video when I was on Friday when
Hmm.
I was doing stuff about her talking about the whole mine thing. And yeah, that
Yeah,
is to me that's very suspicious behavior, but like, or that's very like selfish behavior. But that's
she. So this is something that I found out later. She has talked about and she's talked about it to other people, but she likes to practice what's called triangulation.
hmm
Um, and if you look up triangulation on Google, like it is absolutely a narcissistic fucking practice of basically just keeping all your partners in the dark from each other and like giving them no information about each other and anything like that. Like it's it's like a super abusive like manipulation tactic of like
ah
controlling a whole bunch of relationships at once.
you said called triangulation.
Yeah, it's called triangulation. It's like just reading about it feels gross, but
I'll have to look
it
that up.
feels very accurate to what she does with all of her relationships.
Is that a polyamory thing?
No, it is a narcissistic thing.
Well,
It's
yeah.
it's an abuser, like a narcissistic abuser thing.
I was looking up
Um,
triangulation and polyamory. It's like often occurs when a person repeatedly vents or complains about one partner to another. And then they are dismayed when the two partners don't get along. Tends to freeze conflict. Okay, yeah, that's something I'll check out.
yeah.
When did you decide like when was your decision that like you just didn't want to be a part of the relationship anymore?
It all started kind of going downhill at around like I would say month 2, but like definitely by month 3 because it was only like 4 months long.
This was
It
what,
was definitely
November?
like the relationship was definitely burning out for me,
Hmm.
and I wasn't getting any time to myself or time to do anything that I wanted to do.
Yeah, because Happy was extremely obsessed with Noehflake. Absolutely obsessed with Noehflake. And she could tell that the writing was in the wall, that this relationship wasn't going to go anywhere. And she would text after text after text, bombard Noehflake for hours on end and hours on end. From what I'm gathering, Noehflake is about ready to say that she goes to bed at like 3 or 2 o'clock in afternoons. I'm taking that they work third shift. So imagine somebody just like bombarding you and bombarding you with text messages and you're just trying to go to sleep. Hell yeah, I'd be like, you know what, never mind. This is too much. This is too insane.
She was basically like literally cannibalizing every ounce of time that I had, and I was like staying up later and like getting less sleep and stuff.
Hmm.
And it was absolutely burning me out, like to a point where it wasn't sustainable. My other
You
relationships were starting to suffer and stuff like that, so I was just like, I'm just gonna be fucking like I was trying to make it to January.
mm,
I was literally like doing everything I could and trying to be like, hey, maybe we should shelve some of these difficult topics and everything like that, and like maybe we should stop trying to like literally in every conversation bring up this thing that keeps setting you off. Like maybe we should just chill out for a little bit and get to January. And
mm,
she couldn't even do that. Like literally every time that we would talk, it'd be some sort of like problematic or difficult topic. She just kept bringing it up.
mm. And when did you officially tell her that you were just done? You didn't want to be in anything of a relationship with her anymore?
That was
Because from
before
what I
that.
read, it was like near Christmas, like Christmas Eve,
It was
near
it was
like
the day before Christmas Eve or something like that. Like
yeah.
whatever that weekend was. Like I didn't even want them to come down. I was just like just go away basically. Like I'm over it. I'm done.
And Noehflake, if you go back to my previous videos and you watch those, you could tell Noehflake was fed up with a roller text wall of messages. And they just would not stop. They just would not stop. It was absolutely ridiculous.
What was Poppy's reaction to that?
Uh well, it switched over to all of her different altars like one after the other as she was trying to do the same thing that she does every single time that there was any difficult situation, and she literally cycles through all of her altars.
And yes, I call that coercion. Sorry, I just blew on my hand. There was a bug on my hand. And that is called coercion and manipulation. Coercion and manipulation. Ugh.
Trying to shout at me and then beg at me and then plead with me and then like round and round and round and round. They just keep going until they try and wear you down. Like it's literally what she did multiple times throughout the relationship. Is she would just keep cycling through them and like you would kind of like need to comfort one of them because the other ones are upset or something like that, and then she would just keep going and going. It I described it as a whirlpool because that's what it felt like.
Hmm. Like being caught in a tornado almost.
Yeah, it was like an emotional abuse tornado, and it just like kept happening.
Mm. So yeah, from what I was reading of all the screenshots, did the I don't know who the screenshots came from. I'm guessing they came from you, right?
Yeah, they all came from me.
Okay. Um, it seemed like you over those past few like, is it accurate to say over those past few like days, uh, since you let Poppy know that you weren't interested anymore after everything that happened, which it seemed like that started from you just mentioning like from what it looked like she asked you what your plans were and you told her that you were going out with I believe it was somebody by the name of Sora, like literally for like a morning
Oh,
date or whatever,
well,
and
yeah,
that was
like I
like
told
the
her. Well,
whole
okay, so
that seemed to be where
the
everything
last time that I
exploded.
had a morning date with somebody, um, like I told her that I was gonna have a date in the morning and whatever, and she made the largest deal about it that I've ever seen anyone make about just me spending like 4 hours of time with somebody.
Uh,
So this time I didn't tell her that it was a date. I just told her that I had plans that were going to start at around noon. And I was still talking to her because the plans like hadn't started yet or whatever. Like the person basically Sora just hadn't woken up yet. And like then she just kept, yeah, you can see it on the screen. Like she kept asking me what was my plans, what
yeah,
was my
I'm
plans,
gonna
and it's
screen
like,
share
well,
it with you.
Basically, what Puppy was doing here was trying to exhaust Noehflake and trying to make her feel guilty so she wouldn't go see her other partner. But we also remember, you guys, they are in a poly relationship. Like, this shit makes sense. Puppy has a live-in partner. They have their own partners. But Puppy gets jealous when their partners go see their partners. Puppy Amory is really not for Puppy.
the plan should be starting soon and whatever. And then she got super pissed off because I basically was like, it's a date with Sora.
Yeah. And she asked, like, literally, she said, so this
Yeah.
is what I was trying to clarify. When she says she doesn't want to hear about metamors, does she mean at all or sexually?
Yes.
Because what she was
No, she means
saying
at
was,
all. She
it
doesn't want
seemed
to hear
like
about them
sexually.
at all, but she will ask about that. Like she will poke and prod until she gets an answer of like she needs to know everything of what's going on. But like if you tell her it's anything involving a metamor, which, I was trying to hide from her because she doesn't want to hear about it and then makes the largest deal in the world about it if she does hear about it. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, well, I wasn't going to tell you about it, but you kept fucking asking me.
Can I ask, what does it mean what does green light mean?
So the way to describe it is like, I'm blanking on the word at the moment.
Are you like asking permission for something or?
No, okay, yeah. So it's kind of like if during a difficult conversation someone would say like red light, that means that the conversation needs to like end right there
Oh,
because it's a bit too much. It's like too distressing or whatever.
it's a
If they
safety
say like
boundary.
yellow light, then it's like maybe proceed but with caution kind of thing.
So it's basically more like a boundaries thing. It's more of a boundaries thing. I mean, it's smart. It's smart. I'll give a W on this little thing that they came up with. It's a W.
And then
Mm.
and a green light is like I need maybe bring this up so that we can like talk about it kind of thing.
Like safe signals in a conversation,
Yeah.
basically. Okay. Okay. But I
Yeah,
mean,
but like
I
it's
don't
like,
know.
should I have asked for a green light? And then she's like, was that bad? No. Should he have asked for a green light? Probably because I just woke up. Like, I don't know that she just woke up.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, if that's the case, I don't know why you would ask for specific details of a plan then.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't tell her because it was like it was gonna happen, and she didn't need to know.
Okay.
Like, she didn't
Yeah.
even tell me.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, if that's the case, I don't know why you would ask for specific details of a plan then.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't tell her because it was like it was gonna happen, and she didn't need to know.
Okay.
Like, she didn't
Yeah.
even tell me about a whole fucking girlfriend. Like, why do I need to tell her about every little interaction with people?
Mm-hmm. What was after all of this happened? Like,
Puppy needs to know all these details because they're trying to build a polycule. What do you mean? They're trying to build a polycule here. Of course they need to know. They don't want to know, but they need to know. That's what's going on here.
and it looked like you were getting, from what it looked like she would let you sleep, like Poppy would let you sleep for like 3 hours and then immediately go back to texting you again. And it's like,
Oh yeah.
is that accurate to say that you got very little like
Yeah, I was getting
sleep?
very little sleep. Like my normal bedtime, like I was saying, is like 2 or 3 p.m. And she was like trying to text me and doing like she was basically breaking into like important conversations at around 2 or 3 p.m. and then uh would like keep them up until like 4, sometimes 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Puppy and Redhead needs to be best friend and run this call together. They want different things, so they should not be fighting over anybody. They need to be besties, guys. We need to make this work. We need to get them together as well.
Yeah. It would look like you guys would go 8-9 hours of conversation. It looked like a lot.
Yeah, it was exhausting. It was like literally exhausting every single day.
Did you ever just like put like was it Discord through phone or computer? Did you ever just put it on mute or anything of that sort to like get away from it?
Yeah.
And if
Oh, yeah.
so, like what was her reaction to that?
She would just get pissed. She would get super, super fucking angry and then like super depressive.
Okay, you guys, so I cut out a little piece in here. So basically, they were talking about how Puppy will try to manipulate Noehflake with Sudoku. You get my drift? With Sudoku. So I had to take that out because I know YouTube would not like that language. But yeah, that's what she would do.
Like she would make it sound like, if I didn't do everything exactly correct, then she was going to, like, she never like directly would say it,
Hmm.
but she would always allude to doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, it would be like you're saying it would be like teasing it, basically.
Yeah, it's always like teasing it, and it's honestly, I don't believe she was ever suicidal.
Okay.
Like, I think it's just a threat.
Because it seemed like there was a direct like statement of if you don't break up with this Amy person, I'm going
Yeah.
to do this.
Oh yeah, Amy was Snowflake's partner, and they would flirt a lot on Twitter. And of course, Papi couldn't help themselves, had to read all the tweets. So she threatened Sadiko if Snowflake did not break up with this Amy person that's at wed right now.
Kind of thing. Did
Well,
she ever say just
it was
directly like I'm going to
it was
do it?
more of like a, you need to break up with her because she's the person who almost made me. I don't know how I can handle myself, and like, if you don't do this, I don't know how I can keep going. It's never direct with her. Like, she's
Uh-huh.
always really like vaguey, like plays around with the idea of it, but it's like it still is along the lines of like, if you don't do this, I will kill myself.
Mm.
It's just in that much more like, I can get away with being a little bit more vague and manipulative if I say it this way.
During all of this, was there ever any I just want to make sure ahead of time. Was there ever any
Mhm.
attempt of from her to I don't know how big her platform was at the time, her and Xena's platform was at the time. Was there any attempt of hers to like weaponize her platform against you? Like her
No,
YouTube or anything
no,
during the relationship at least?
nope. She basically kept like all of that to herself. She was kind of pissy that I never joined her Discord community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but otherwise, like, no, she was surprised at one point that I said I watched one of her videos,
Mm-hmm.
because I was curious. I just watched one of her videos. But
Okay.
otherwise, like, she never talked about any of that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. So you tell her I don't know how many times you told her specifically. How many times did you tell her that you weren't interested in meeting at the hotel and everything after Christmas or whenever it was? Like how many times did you
Mm,
like just base number? Like how many times did you tell her you weren't interested in meeting anymore?
I don't entirely know because I was very disassociative,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't necessarily like me
Uh-huh.
telling her. Like, it was my headmate was the one that was basically like doing the whole breakup.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know. It was like a while of me being like, just go away, basically, like, stop talking to me. I think
Do
at
you
one
ever tell
point
her
we
directly
like
go
actually
away?
muted her.
Do you ever tell her directly go away? I don't want to speak with you anymore. Leave me alone.
I don't remember,
Okay.
honestly. Like, it was just a fucking blur of many, many, many hours.
Right. So at some point she finally I guess breaks you down and you decide okay, I'll still meet with you guys at the hotel and
That
stuff,
was
right?
Xena. Like, we ended
Oh,
up talking
Xena?
to like Xena
Yeah.
instead.
You guys, I forgot to mention I got this from Victor Burns' channel. I'll link it in the description. He has multiple channels, but the link I'm going to be putting in will take you to his 5,000 channels, but his content is really good. You want something different? Click the link, it will take you to his channel, and then you can check out his other links for his other channels. Okay.
What
of
was I
Poppy.
should have asked that. What was how much was Xena involved in this conversation between you and Poppy? Like because there
Uh,
are some texts but or some DMs or whatever between you and Xena
yeah, I
uh
think what happened was
on the
we
21st at
like,
1 in the afternoon. Yeah.
yeah, we ended up like blocking Poppy
Mhm.
eventually, just to get her to shut up. And then Xena started messaging us and was like poking us about, like, basically just guilt tripping us into going still, because they spent money on the hotel room and whatever, and apparently they couldn't get a refund at this point.
Well, that sounds like a them problem, honestly. But
Yeah, it was.
do you think that Poppy sent Xena to like get in contact with you to try to pull you back in?
I don't think Poppy sent Xena. Xena seems to do a lot of this shit on their own.
Okay.
Um, like, there's a lot of times that Poppy will say and do stuff and like maybe might start relenting, and then Xena will absolutely like push from the background.
Okay.
You guys are going to hear fireworks in the background. Xena is the biggest cock. Xena is always sitting in the cock chair, and you will see her. I'm going to be using them for the thumbnail. A biggest cock. And one thing I realized about Xena got Poppy to put her on, what is that called? SSI. because Lord, she has all these migraine, blah blah blah, and used to be cancer, Papi's a cancer, so it's an easy thing for them to do. But Zena knows if Papi's not happy, all hell breaks loose, and Zena cornered herself, put herself in the corner here because she knows without Papi, she has nowhere else to go. Where's she gonna be able to afford an apartment with SSDI? Let's be for real.
So I think this was Xena was still trying to like do all this on their own.
Okay. And that looked like you guys were you two were talking for like 7 hours.
Yeah.
And then
it was a while.
Yeah, and then less than 5 hours later, you're back to talking to Poppy.
Yeah, I just unblocked her at that point because it's like, well, if I'm gonna meet up with them again, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm just looking at this, and it's like one line emoji,
Yep.
another line emoji, another line emoji, another line emoji, and it's like,
No, yeah. Oh, trust me, and this is where I also met Peppermint, like for the first time ever. Like they just showed up out of nowhere. It was a new alter, like literally that I'd never met before.
Yeah, that makes me super suspicious. But
it is suspicious because most people don't get 3 altars. Most people get 1 altar to disassociate. Papi gets 3 altars because Papi is special. Yeah, because all of 3 altars are bullshit. You're not being suspicious. You're being realistic.
Oh yeah, no, that was super sus to me too.
Yeah, that makes me extremely suspicious about that. But so they come down. What was the date they came down exactly? Was it after Christmas?
No, it was before Christmas.
Before? It looks like the 23rd. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's literally because she posts here. She said she's 6 minutes away from your house, and all she keeps telling you to do is go home. So you're telling them still while they're in town, I don't want to see you. Correct? Am I right on that?
I did go. So I went over for like one night. I mean, I got there in the evening, and then I left like the next day.
Okay.
And then yeah, like the whole time after I left, she was just texting me relentlessly, being like, "Please come back, please fix this, come back, fix this." And it's like, there's nothing to fix, it's over. And then she just kept saying, "Well, you need to fix this. This is your fault," and like that kind of shit. And then she was like posting through it on Twitter the whole time. And yeah, like
I don't want to go into too much like detail with the sex and everything, but I do want to know who initiated.
Her.
Okay.
She initiated everything.
Okay, you guys, this is where the story gets interesting. Also remember that Noehflake told Papi that she's an asexual. So as the story goes along, keep that in mind.
I was like so completely out of it that I basically was just like a body for most of that fucking trip.
Yeah. Did you, to the best of your knowledge, did you make it absolutely clear that like you still had no interest in being in an actual relationship?
I mean, she
before
at one point
before
said,
she was sexually intimate with you.
She asked me if we could pretend that we were okay for the trip, like beforehand. So that's like
if
she
you
literally
could
asked me to pretend to be all right, and I was like, okay, I can try.
If you could, wait, hold on. If you could pretend?
Yeah, she literally asked me that before the trip.
Okay. All right, that's.
I have that screenshot somewhere. That's buried somewhere. I don't know.
If you want to send that to me, I'll absolutely highlight that.
I will attempt to find it. I have so many screenshots, man.
Sure, absolutely. So everything physical happens. When did you let them know that you were basically, again, like for that umpteenth time, done with this, probably not coming back, et cetera, kind of stuff? And what was Poppy and Xena's reaction both? Did they what I'm trying to find out is, did they physically hold you like and not allow you to leave the hotel?
I mean, she like I was grabbing everything and putting it away in my suitcase because like I had stuff kind of all over the place a little bit. And she came over to the door and was like, they have one of those like the little half a walk-in closet thing right next to the door.
Yeah.
And she was like kind of still shouting at me and telling me to like, don't do this, like this is a problem between me and ZZ, like this doesn't have anything to do with you, and like whatever, because like ZZ wanted.
And you guys, and this is the part where Papi's story falls apart from Noehflake's recollection of what happened. This is where her story falls apart.
To basically go back home and like spend time with someone that like actually wanted to spend time with her for Christmas. That's her words, or their words, sorry. Because like Poppy had basically just been ignoring them like the entire time that we were there in the hotel room.
So her
they
focus
were
was
basically
basically
like
on you.
keeled over in bed, like in pain the entire time, and I was like, Poppy, maybe you should like stop ignoring Zizi and like go and like pay attention to them because they're like in pain.
And then you guys remember we're in the polycule. I would like to understand how this whole thing went down in the hotel room but Zizi was sitting there the whole entire time, and I feel like Zizi, which is Zena, was faking all this for attention because she got jealous. Yeah, definitely so saying Zizi got jealous. That's why we're sick. All of a sudden we're sick because it sounds to me like Poppy was putting way too much energy into Noehflake. Yeah. Jealousy.
Yeah, Poppy just kept ignoring them anyway. So,
Yeesh.
uh,
Okay.
so like they started arguing in the morning and like got into like a screaming match over like Cena wanting to go home.
And you were present for that.
And I was present. Like I had already been away for several hours at that point, and I was like getting really fucking hungry, and like I had to use the bathroom. Like I was just annoyed and over it at that point because they
Did
just
you
kept
did you ever
going.
mention any of that to them? Like, I gotta bounce. Like, I'm starving. I gotta get out of here.
Like we were
kind of stuff.
talking about getting food like before the argument started, and I think it was at like 9 a.m., like 7 or 8 a.m., something like that,
Uh huh.
like somewhere between that amount of time. And like they were still arguing at like 2:40.
Okay, so you guys imagine this. You got to meet your hookup for your polyamory person, and then the partner gets upset and jealous because you're not getting that much attention from your primary partner, and the argument proceeds from like 9 o'clock, let's say, until 2 p.m. and you have to sit there and listen to this shit. Like, can you imagine? And also people might say, why didn't Noehflake leave? Well, you gotta remember too, Noehflake is only 23 at this point, and Poppy is like 46 or something like that. So yeah, put those together. So yeah, keep that in mind.
Like I remember like it was after like 2 o'clock, almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were still arguing over this like stupid plane ticket. And it's like fucking they were like, I guess the airport that Xena had even like looked at was 2 hours away anyway. Like they weren't even gonna make it to the fucking plane by that point anyway.
Uh huh. So they never
Because they
asked you to
just
like
kept
leave the
arguing.
room or whatever. It was like, hey, can we handle this without you kind of situation? I'm sorry, kind of thing. They just
No,
let you sit there and
they just
witness this
kept
whole
going.
thing.
Like I was just there in the room, and they just kept going back and forth with each other, and I was just like, all right, I'm fucking done. And I just got up and I started grabbing all my stuff and putting it away in a suitcase, and then I went for the door, and Poppy was like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "I'm fucking done. I'm out. I can't deal with this." Like I was like, y'all deal with your own fucking thing." I'm like, "If you
Yeah.
guys are worried about money and all this shit, just go home together." It's like, just fucking leave. Just drive back
Which,
home.
yeah, that
Like
makes
it's a lot
absolute
cheaper than a
sense to me.
goddamn plane ticket.
I would not want to be present for that either. Like, I don't want to be the third wheel in somebody's
Yeah,
screaming match either.
exactly.
Like,
And it's like, you know what? It was a financially smarter decision on like to send them back home together,
mhm,
because at that point, like they're worried about spending the money on a plane ticket. And it's like, well, you might as well just fucking drive back because
yeah.
like it's just the two of you. Just go.
So what was?
And
Oh,
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. No,
No,
go
so
ahead.
that's where she started. Like she came over to me and she broke down on the ground and she grabbed a hold of my suitcase and like death gripped it and like wouldn't let go of like the suitcase. And that's why like I literally couldn't leave without my shit.
Yeah.
You guys like picturing this whole entire thing in my head? It sounds like a horror film, over dramatic horror film. Like just a scene alone that's just been said in the hotel room. That's a movie in itself. That is just a movie in itself.
So she
Yeah.
was basically physically not necessarily like standing in front of the door, but she was trying to hold on to your stuff to keep you from leaving.
Yeah, like she was sitting next to it on the floor, like holding onto my suitcase, and like there wasn't a way for me to get it away from her. Like I'm very weak, and
Uh huh.
she's bigger than me. So like, yeah.
Yeah. Plus, you're running.
And also, I don't know if this has been mentioned. Remember, Noehflake is like 5'6", 5'7". Poppy is like 6'3", 6'4". So yeah.
On no sleep and et cetera, for however long.
Oh
And
yeah, I was exhausted.
yeah, so that's obviously going to take a toll. Yeah. How long was she like? How long was Poppy keeping you there? Like how long would you say from the moment you said I'm going to her grabbing the suitcase to you finally getting out of that hotel room and leaving? Like how long of a time frame would you say that was?
God, that
To the
had
best of your
like
knowledge.
me trying to leave was probably like an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours.
So almost 2 hours of her physically keeping you from leaving.
Like holding onto my shit, crying, like not letting me go, like that kind of stuff. Like yeah, it was probably like 2 hours.
Yikes. It's almost like a hostage situation here, you guys.
Did ZZ ever tell her, hey, let go of her shit and let her go?
Nope. ZZ was in fact also trying to guilt trip me from the bed across the room the whole time, and like,
See, you guys, what I meant? ZZ, aka Xena, is a cuckold. Straight up cuckold.
the most creepy, calmly casual, like therapist way.
Uh-huh.
It was fucking bizarre, like snarky, and just wasn't necessary.
Yeesh, okay.
Yeah,
Like
the kind of
what was
things
some of the
like
stuff that she said? Like,
being
can you
like,
give
well,
me an
you came
example?
here to fix this. Like, we were here to fix our issues together. And it's like Xena was like literally crying about wanting to leave and go back home and like spend time with people that cared about them and stuff like that. And like
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden flipped a switch and was like, well, you came here to fix these things, and like trying to like Karen like side comment from like the bed. And it was like, I thought you were fucking wanting to leave. Like, what are you doing?
You guys see, I told you these two are not cases. With another pair, we need 5150, not cases.
So it's kind of a switch back and forth almost.
Yeah.
Like
It
from
just
let's
switched
get
back
out of
to like
here
guilt tripping me.
to no, I want you to stay kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds insane. Like
It is. It literally was insane.
yeah, that's like why I'm trying to wrap my head around it. All of it sounds so unhinged.
Well, in my mind too, like a visit like this is always something that is important in a relationship, because it's like it gives you a glimpse into like what living with this person might be
Mm-hmm.
like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sorry, but getting like God, it wasn't even like 14 hours worth of experience of like quote unquote living with Poppy was like, this is the most hell I've ever seen of any hell. Like it was terrible.
I couldn't imagine how insane it would be to be around both of them in a situation like that. How I think it was like a few days after you finally left that she
Yeah.
started accusing you of I guess for lack of a better word, sexually assaulting her.
Okay, Victor. She accused her of rape by deception because Noehflake, even after the meetup, even though she tried to cancel on them, because Noehflake's like, I still don't like you that way. Poppy was upset and decided to call it rape by deception, darling. Don't forget that.
What was your initial
Yeah, that
reaction
came
when
out
you
of
found out
nowhere.
about that? Like, how did you find out about that?
So I had already started messaging some of the other people that had like reached out after the breakup,
Uh,
because I started getting like a lot of messages from different people being like, oh my God, I'm so glad that you're out of that situation, kind of thing. Like people were sending me messages all over the place. And I started hanging out with some of the people that had kind of like been exiled and like removed from her Discord community and stuff like that before, because they were like, they broke up with her or something along those lines, like that kind of thing. Like those people that were like excommunicated from her group. And some of them had started like asking questions and like reaching out about things, and that was like Milena and them,
okay. Yeah,
trying to
Melena's
figure
like
things
her
out.
ex, if I remember right.
Yeah, honestly, like seeing that she started accusing me of sexual assault was like, I kind of laughed, because it's like the fucking asexual girl who didn't even initiate anything like assaulted you. Like what?
And for those who are stumbling on this video and you're so confused, there was a document drop on Xena and Poppy explaining the whole situation is wild. I started going through it a little bit, and I'm gonna keep on going through it when I circle back into the content to go through it a little bit more to see how insane Poppy and Xena are. Like honestly, the whole thing is wild.
Like the fact that she claims that like as soon as I left, like she started having like crazy symptoms about assault and everything like that. And it's like she was literally like begging me to stay and like yelling and screaming like nothing had happened up until the time that I fucking left. Like she begged me to come back for like 8 or 9 hours or some bullshit until she finally left my state. Like, what do you mean she has assault symptoms?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Like she
somebody
has
that
abuser symptoms, sure, but like that's not like she doesn't sound like a fucking assault victim. She was like trying to chase me down and make me come back.
Yeah. Just to be clear, she's not claiming. I don't think she's claiming it was a like a physical held down kind of thing. She's trying to say it's
No, but
by
like that's what she
deception
claims that she has symptoms of.
of a physical like held
Yeah.
down like.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was saying like she's afraid of, like she was having like night terrors and like couldn't handle the darkness anymore and stuff, and like she was describing like the physical, like physically being held down symptoms, and it's like,
That
but
makes no
that you
sense.
didn't even say that happened. Like,
This is was Poppy licking her narcissistic wounds. She was coping with being rejected. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
yeah, nothing that she's said so far makes any fucking sense.
So what was your initial reaction to finding out that's what she was trying to say?
I it's just strange. Like, it's so bizarre. Like, again, I keep describing it as like, it's weird reading about this horrible villain story that like has my name attached to it, but like has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Like she's literally took your picture and altered it with the word
Oh
like
no, she
rapist
didn't.
on it.
Her friend Annie Gale did. That was
Oh,
Annie
somebody.
Gale.
Yeah, I saw those pictures. They were disgusting. I'm not gonna put them up, but I did see those pictures. And yeah, again, narcissistic injury, her way of coping.
Yeah, but she's posting it to
Yeah,
all of
she keeps
like
posting it around everywhere
to her
because she's
platform.
like, she's super vain and like hates that. If you send her a picture, she basically claims it as hers forever. Yeah. Oh yeah. She's like super like into the weird like ultra dominant kink thing. Like she claims people entirely and stuff like that.
Oy,
Uh,
okay.
and if you send her pictures, those pictures are hers forever. She's got apparently like folders of nudes of people like organized on her computer that people have like sent her from the past. Like she just holds on to all of it. Like she's like really fucking creepy.
That's wow. That's disturbing. That's extremely disturbing.
But yeah, you guys, that was the interview of Noehflake, who was accused of rape for deception because she got rejected, even though the person did not want to meet up with them. So this was what her way of coping, Poppy that is. Yeah, so we got this interview. So what I think for the rest of the videos with Poppy and Zena, we're gonna go back into the documents that were dropped, so we can go through those. And I think I'm gonna go through Star for those documents so we can get a little kiki out of them. This was a long one, you guys, but thank you for hanging in there with me and indulging me in this insane content. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it off here, and you got most of the parts that I want you guys to get, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Later, bye bye.